a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that, after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. I want you all, those who have hats on, to take off your hats.
Hi, welcome back to this platform. If today is your first time, we are here to learn and acquire knowledge. Last week, we focused on the President of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama, his second coming, as I put it, the later day of John Dramani, in reference of a man called Nicodemus in the Bible. Today, we are going to base our topic on the story of two brothers in the Bible called Jacob and Esau. Come along with me. Let's open our Bible to Genesis chapter 25, verse 20 to 34. I read. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Paddan-aram, the sister of Laban the Syrian. 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau, because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. The Bible or the Holy Books is written based on a true story, but because you and I were not there, we forget ourselves to go into critical analysis. If we go back to the story of Abraham and his wife Sarah, Sarah was barren and God promised her a child, a son called Isaac. Now, Isaac also got married to a barren wife called Rebecca, and God heard his prayer on behalf of his wife. Decoding this barrenness in the line of Sarah generation, this is not just the barrenness of a child, but lack of land. In verse 22, it says, the babies in the womb jostle each other. In verse 25, the first baby came out red with hairy all over like garment, and he was called Esau. Does this ring a bell in your ears? Verse 26, the second baby came out holding onto Esau's heel. In verse 27, describe who Esau was: a cunning hunter, a man of the field. This signifies abundance and beginning. The same verse also describes Jacob as a plain man dwelling in tent. This is a sign of homelessness, no land to dwell on. Verse 29 to 34 describe how Jacob, who lived in a tent, had a deal with Esau to sell his birthright for a bread and steal. Our leaders go out there borrowing from IMF, World Bank in exchange of our young people's talent, which is the spiritual side, and the growth of the country for worldly things instead of our source, which is the foundation of growth. Black people, we have allowed ourselves to be consumed by the things of this world. Our leaders have sold our birthright for their selfish interest. Akwasi Broni or Oyibo go into a deal with our leaders that entangles you and I, suffocates you and your entire generation. Matthew chapter 4 verse 4, I read, Jesus answered, it is written, man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. In simple words, God is telling us to use everything within us. He has given us intelligence to create. Black man is so far away from his creator to understand his words. The Holy Book is telling our story. We just have to pay close attention to it.
When you study history, you must ask yourself, whose story am I missing? Whose voice was suppressed so that this voice can come forth? Once you have figured that out, you must find that story too as part of the narrative. By finding and owning the stories of our past, the ones that have been suppressed, we're able to truly know ourselves. And with that knowledge of self comes the power to write ourselves truthfully, respectfully into not only our future, but the future of all humanity. That's right. We're reclaiming everything that was ours. We have been divided with artificial borders of colonialism that split ethnic homelands right down the middle, with half of our communities being ruled by one European country and the other half being ruled by another. And with the labeling of our ethnicity in a colony as intellectual and worthy of education, while another ethnicity was said to be inherently martial and thus intellectually inferior. We've been divided by the manufacturing of coups, armed conflicts, anti-poverty programs that somehow never eradicate poverty, by the selective broadcast of stereotypes, a systemic war of images waged against us, images meant to foster fear and engender self-hatred and portrayal of Africans as primitive savages whose low cognitive ability makes them incapable of self-determination, and Black people in the Americas as lazy, drug-addled, and criminally inclined. But anything in this life, once stripped of its power, will no longer work. And that is true of slurs, it is true of stories, especially ones that are complete fabrications. Let's take the narrative of those who oppressed us and work it. In fact, let's take their entire modus operandi and flip it and reverse it. And so I urge you, my brothers and sisters, let's be more intentional about our unity than they were about our division.
Akwasi Broni took his time to change our perspective. They brought us religion to keep us asleep. They brought us democracy to cause confusion from dictating the actual truth, which is consciousness. Democracy is a symbol, same as church. Both are within you and I. It's being taken out of you and I to overwhelm us. Symbols are replacement of something real. Black man is living in the world of a white man. Black man is a consumer. We get fed by the Oyibo, just as Esau exchanged his birthright for bread and steel. As it was said in Genesis chapter 25, verse 26.
Media say, America, Ghana, you can't stand anywhere in America.
We can't cry.
You cannot stand anywhere in America. Who paper now what you say?
Hey.
And go create a problem. Listen, Papa, I am a list. Or do beka say, we try 5 years visa. We try 5 years visa. Obi abako, we are president cry now call back, Sakwa Kudi Larso. And a more informer, you know him, a quiet buyer. Me pacho, we find no fine. And Uncle Foyer, the Esaberry Institute, because our man mentioned him, but then we made a letter for some statements via a be officials be me my and I'm American for trigger that anger and no mutrem. Or no, I coca copacho and answer a chopper be a coso and no mabecahum. Now on one yasem, one quachi Venezuela, United Kingdom on Casa on condemn ye, France on condemn ye, Russia cry were cautious.
Yeah.
China were Security Council members with power
On Kasai. Now Ghana keteketi.
Yet, now we are just about a month ago. Wasako countries, Roma Baka, woman no more visa restrictions. You know, they say Wasabe heightened visa restrictions to a visa ban. Country being saying Sierra Leone. Papa Sierra Leone, why America day? Only any problem. And your rebel, only Omno obi anko de na beka ho. Ususu kro no. I listen. The bigger hub of nationals outside, predominantly American no more, followed by the UK, followed by Canada, and then Germany and other parts of the world.
We want, therefore, to develop our own community and an African personality. Others may feel that they have evolved the very best way of life, but we are not bound, like slavish imitators, to accept it as our mode. If we find the methods used by others are suitable to our social environment, we shall adopt or adapt them. If we find them unsuitable, we shall reject them.
Black man is holding onto the heel of the West. We can be dropped off at any given time because we have no base. The only laws that can protect black man is the laws of the land. Black man is following symbols and has rejected truth. We are knowledge seekers. Share, like, subscribe, and leave your comment down below. Thank you.